Hello and welcome back to another Rocket League replay analysis. In today's video, we'll be discussing the 3 core areas of panic in Rocket League. Those 3 areas being panicking when the ball is coming at us from an odd angle, panicking when we find ourselves on low boost, and panicking when we have an opportunity for an open net. And we'll be focusing today on how you can eliminate these areas of panic from your game so you can overall play more solidly. So teammate gets a nice challenge here out the rip. Now right here we're gonna try to get an air roll shot with the corner of our car towards net, and I appreciate the ambition, but at the same time we have to consider the position we're in and the amount of boost that we have. The chances of us being able to put a shot on target that gets past both defenders is pretty much absolutely 0. So in the position you find yourself here, it would be okay to just focus on keeping control of the ball, possibly even catch it and drive it up towards the wall, maybe even into the corner to grab this boost and then launch a play from there, as opposed to rushing a play in a situation where we have absolutely no chance of it actually working out. So be careful of that, because yeah, that's just completely unnecessary. It ends up being just a giveaway. This is fine, good patience. Cool. See what we do here. Good boost grab, good control. Yep, this is all fine. Go ahead and get past that last defender. Beautiful. And I think we rushed the shot a little bit. So at this point, we need to keep an eye on the opponents this entire time, right? So we get this boost. We can see that Nosy here is still way out of the play. So as you get this ball past the last defender, there's really no rush to get this ball into the net, because your opponent's not going to be back in the next instant. So really focus on this at this point, that you just make sure you stay around the ball and actually put the shot where you want to. The problem you run into here is that as you approach the ball, you turn a bit to the right, which puts you on the right side of the ball. It should still be an easy shot regardless, but we want to make sure that we're just squared on to where the net is, as opposed to angling towards the backboard, because at this point our car is pointing over here, when in reality we could have just squared ourselves up and launched this thing directly straight, and it would have resulted in the ball going in the goal instead of directly off the post, which is unfortunate. Alright, opportunity for control. Okay, so in these spots, the one thing I want you to start working on is to have confidence to just drive towards your corner, let this ball bounce with you, catch it on the ramp, and bring it up the wall with you. Catch it on the top of your car as you're on the ramp, so that it just comes up the wall with you. Because that is pretty much the only way from a position like this that you can guarantee control of the ball. If you go for something like this, again, at this point, your teammate is all the way out of the play over here. You have 2 opponents currently on you, and you're last back. So any kind of loose touch here where the ball just bounces back off the sidewall is very dangerous in terms of potential shots on your goal, because you're also not giving yourself a whole lot of easy methods of recovery. Because right here, if these guys had been smarter, then this guy would have been a bit more patient, would have stayed a bit further back. This touch comes out, he's just booming this directly off the corner, and it's going right mid to Nosy here, who's going to be able to finish off that play before your teammate gets back. So just make sure as the ball is rolling towards your own corner that you just seek out ways to control that ball. Either way, it's a giveaway of possession. This is fine. Don't be jumpy like this on the wall either. This ball's already kind of past you. And any angle that you're gonna get is kind of just gonna dump the ball back into the midfield. When I see a teammate looking like this, I'm going to assume that it's gonna be easier for the other teammate to challenge. From this position, you've kind of already done your job of just forcing him to make this touch. He's gonna go again, so you can just keep your wheels on the wall here, turn off, and come back to the ground and go back behind your teammate. Because you forced him, your teammate should come forward, and then you can follow up on whatever challenge your teammate has going on. But by jumping like this, you forced him, but then you've also committed, and now you and your teammate are both in the air. And now you again have another pretty difficult shot coming at you, and you're immediately getting punched. So that wouldn't have happened if you had stayed on the ground. If you don't jump here, your wheels are still on the ground, you probably don't even turn for this, and you're in a bit of a better spot to play this shot. Either way, you should probably still have this save. And this is just all about practicing your shadow defense. You have, like, the perfect line to this ball. You just need to make sure that you really focus on getting up to it. So don't be afraid to use your boost to go vertical, and just try to play the ball to either side after you get a touch. Because I think what happens here is you're really just trying to play it up. Because you just don't get up in time at all. So just make sure that you get vertical, use your boost to get in the air, and then just get a touch to either side. Like, any touch at all here is good. And in this situation, you really don't even need to use air roll. You can just, you know, jump straight and just focus on getting a touch. You don't need to air roll back towards the ball like this. It just makes the aerial a little bit more complicated. You can just jump straight up and get a touch that's going to be good enough to take this ball out of danger. Boost pads here. So as you land, I like that you don't go to the corner, but make sure that we line ourselves up with a good group of boost pads. So when landing here, like, you should get yourself on this group, and just make sure that you get these 3 pads as you're starting to rotate back, because getting these 3 pads means that if the ball comes back mid, you can turn off of this and be able to attack it. If the ball goes to the corner, you can turn off of this and be able to attack it. But also, if the ball goes back into your own half, you can just continue on your merry way on the way back. So general rule of thumb, when you land, look for 3 boost pads and keep yourself as involved in the play as possible. You don't really ever want to just be flipping all the way to a big boost and then miss it as well, and just be stuck in the midfield with literally missing every single pad. Holy. Yeah, work on that pad pathing. Very important. You're gonna get scored on, aren't you? Oh my gosh, you should have. So this all comes down to you just not being necessarily smart with your boost grabs. So if you got 3 pads here, you'd be good. You'd be able to play with 48 boosts, and you'd be chilling with whatever it is your opponents are gonna do. You go for the mid boost, and the last thing you see here is your opponents possibly, like, yeah, they're awkward, but they have a pretty good chance that they're gonna get this ball out. But instead of focusing on the play still, you turn ball cam back off and go out to the mid boost. And then you don't even get it, because you didn't line yourself up properly. But this should be a non-issue, because you should already be positioned like here with 48 boost and be able to turn on this if you need to. Being able to pick up a couple more pads wherever it is you need to go. But instead, now we miss this boost as well. And now we're still not going to pay attention to how we're grabbing boost. We got 1, but then we're going to miss 1, 2, 3 with that other one. And now we finally start to pick some up. Okay, here we go. So now we're back with 36 in a situation where we could have had like 70. So it's amazing the difference that like that would make, because imagine we had 70 here. Now you also wouldn't feel the need to go get like any more pads, but also if the ball's sitting here and you just saw an opponent right over there, the last thing you should do is say, screw the ball, I'm gonna go get this boost. Because it's gonna be really obvious for your opponent to see that you're not playing the ball, because you're going this way when the ball's over here. So what that's gonna tell them is they're free to come into challenge, and that's just gonna be a free pass to the midfield where an opponent should be there to finish this shot off. And it absolutely should have been. Nosy just misses entirely. That's a really bad shot from him, but yeah, overall, that entire situation comes down to you not focusing on the correct boost grabs. This is fine. We missed the boost again, but that's not a problem. Oh dear. Oh my gosh, these guys suck. Okay, so it should be 4-2 right now. So right here, this ball goes to the corner. At this point, like, you see an opponent there, like right here, and your teammate's in the air and still ahead of you. Realistically, you're last man back here, so there's really no reason to like push super hard for this ball. You can just play safe back, and be relatively content doing it. The further you creep up this wall, if this guy gets the beat, both you and your teammate are now like out here. And again, this is just a free pass towards the midfield where there should be a goal. So at this point, like, I don't mind you driving up the corner wall, but then I'd be turning back towards your backboard. Because that's where the ball was inevitably going to go. And if you had been on the backboard, the ball was just going to come right to you. But instead, now you've pushed yourself forward in a situation where both you and your teammate are now out of the play. And for whatever reason, this nosy guy is having the worst shooting game of his life. And he just blasted directly into the post, even though he probably had like 2 more seconds to just let the ball roll. So fantastic execution by our opponents in terms of shooting. So right here, this is one where we want to be careful. So our teammates 0 boost after going for the kickoff. There is now no reason that we need to score. Like, we're up by 1 with less than 30 seconds left, so we don't need to put the ball in the net anymore. So we can, as first man here, just like, you know, fake the challenge and play a bit safer. We definitely don't want to be throwing ourselves out of the game, because we don't want to be giving them an opportunity for like any kind of 2v1. Just want to play a bit safe in the final 30 seconds, not change up your play style too much, but you definitely don't want to be like throwing yourself out of the play, because again, this ball gets past your teammate who's on 0 boost, and oh my gosh, yeah, they score. So that's literally all because you dive in. I thought they missed initially, but yeah, if you don't jump here, if you just like force this first touch, like maybe stop around like, I don't know, like around here. I probably wouldn't even go that far. I would probably just see that he has the touch off the kickoff and just focus on getting pads and playing defensive, because, you know, your teammate's out of the play. And really nothing good's gonna come out of this except for some kind of 50. That's probably gonna just bounce to somewhere they can handle it. So yeah, like, as soon as you see that your opponent's gonna have the touch, just don't even worry about it. Probably like here would be the closest I'd get, because that should get him to still jump, especially if we boost a little bit. But then, yeah, I definitely would not be jumping for this, because there's just too much that can go wrong, as we immediately see by the fact that, you know, we immediately get punished, and that's on us because we know our teammate's on 0 boost. We wouldn't have even had to be able to see his nameplate to be able to tell that he was on 0 boost. We just, you know, put ourselves out of position, and that made everything really awkward overall. Good touch. Oh. Yes! What a shot, let's go! Lovely composure here at the end. This is fantastic. So, nice patience here. We're not, you know, we're in a good defensive spot. We see the ball is coming sideways. We're going to force out a touch here. There's really no danger of this going into our net right away, especially because we can just turn off if need be. But we bait out the flick. We get the ball back. Lovely pop. Good touch. Lovely finish overall. As you guys can see, panic often arrives when we attempt to overcomplicate a situation. If we just keep things simple and focus on making the most solid play we can, there are many situations where panic is simply not really warranted. So make sure you focus on keeping yourself calm around the field, focus on making the most solid play you can, and you will do a fantastic job of eliminating panic from your game. Of course, thank you guys so much for watching. I really do appreciate each and every one of you who made it to this point in the video, and I do hope you enjoyed it and found it helpful. If you did, make sure you click that subscribe button right down below so you make sure you don't miss any future Rocket League content. Additionally, if you'd like to be a bit more involved in the community we're building here, feel free to join my Discord, which I'll have linked down in the description. And as always, I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you next time. See you later, guys.